Hi guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Nicholas here from the Southern Islands, and we are back with Tropical Hour GX podcast episode 4.
Yes,
4.
episode 4.
And today, if you notice, we have a special guest here joining us, Clifton.
Not the bear.
Not the bear. But as usual, joining us is Jeremy,
Hello.
Boss Thomas, and the newly christened Danny Gigas.
Danny Gigas.
Yes, but we'll talk about Gigas later. Right now, for this episode, we're going to talk about the recently concluded Indonesia and Thailand Championships, and then followed by the Palkia shutout at Melbourne. Then we're going to look at Taiwan, then Japan. Then later, to wrap it up, we're going to talk about what to expect for NAIC and subsequently in your local competition. So first of all, Indonesia and Thailand. So guys, both ended the last few weeks to wrap up our Southeast Asia tournaments, and both were won by New VMAX. I mean,
Not surprised.
so Atta Rico, and a very old player that we've like most of us know, he won Indonesia with Mew. He beat Asia's VSTAR Galarian Moltres, not the V, just the baby, in the finals. As for Thailand, they had a Mew VMAX mirror. I think one key note was that the winner played Silene, if I watched the stream, and the runners-up played Catcher. So not sure if like Catcher maybe should we put it back in? I don't know. But let's look at the Indonesia champion deck. So one key difference from most Mew decks is that he plays Judge instead of Mani. I don't know if is that really better or ways to disrupt your opponent. Guys, what do you think?
Let's ask Danny first.
Oh yes, Danny plays
so much Mew
Mew as well.
Last meta.
Okay, I think the difference between Judge and Mani is that Judge I'll prefer Mani over Judge because sometimes you just shuffle the key components. Especially when you're the last crucial stages of the game. But when I play against Asia's intelligent deck, I would rather Mani than Judge them because they were like to keep their hands full of gas. Then once you Mani them down, you sort of shut down. While Judge, they still have the outs to draw back to his lane. I don't really like Judge. Judge can be a good early call against the mirror. I don't know, you Judge in the early mirror, you set up then you Judge in the early mirror. So you sort of disrupt their play. I think that's also.
But they draw back, right?
Yeah, but you draw at 4 cards. So let's say you start first, right? Then you set up your board you have really the Mew Genesect or 2 Genesect and a Mew. Then you Judge them. But they only have one Melo Metal or 1 Genesect or something like that. Then they're quite fumble. They fumble and yeah. So I think the Judge is good when you're going. But actually it doesn't make sense because.
No. Basically, you
I think
just want
it
to
makes
judge and then you cheese the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, just admit it.
Then you can ask Clifton if you've got any
Judge versus Mani.
Judge over Mani, I think there are only two factors, two main factors. The first one is player factor, second one is deck factor or meta factor. So the first one, player factor, how many players, right, especially those in his testing circle, would probably have learned to use anticipatory plays, right? For example, not overcommitting on Italian, so you don't hoard all the good cards. Using Rotom phones skillfully, maybe there's a lot of mirror. So Mani kind of puts paid to all that, right? So it depends on how players play. Second thing, meta difference. Is there a lot of decks that have trouble thinning up their deck to a very high extent? Usually that comes into play. So for example, if your deck has a lot of trouble filtering and thinning your deck, it's better to use Judge, then your opponent will just draw nothing but jank. Whereas if a deck has the ability to thin down the deck a lot, and opponent hoards, right, then I would say that Mani is better as long as they do not thin down to a point where you draw the cards again, which is something that rarely happens in this format. So based on that, if that's the way Atta is thinking, then that's a good way of putting Judge over Mani.
I always only play 2 Rotom phone.
Yeah, he also play
I only play 2 Stadium. So it's quite ballsy.
Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe the meta there is probably mirror on the wall.
I mean, he played 4 choice belt. Is that 4 choice belt?
No, two choice belt.
two choice belt.
Yeah, two choice belt for
4
tablet.
choice belt would be.
Oh, it's about
Yeah.
angry, bro.
But I did play
Wake
Scoop
up
Up
and
Net
choose
lah.
violence, bro.
So we did
Yeah,
swap
yeah.
it together with
True lah.
They
Because
say like
he still played the Pokeball package.
if violence not the answer, you're not using enough of it, right?
Yeah, it's more 4 choice belt.
Yeah. So, do you like Pokeball Scuba Net in Mew?
I feel like a lot of
Like I see a lot of this now includes inside.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I'm not a big fan of like starting Pumpkaboo, trying to dig for your scoop up net. I rather just like go all in. Like if
It can be a stadium.
Yeah, it can be a stadium. It's a spot that I could have 4 stadium plays instead, and with 4 phones.
Because the argument is that because you also play the Fort Crystal, right, with the four balls. I mean the 4 balls.
Yeah,
so it's like
yeah.
9 outs to a way to pump the stadium. I mean, from the list, I'm thinking like that might be a top process lah.
Yeah.
Personally, I've been playing quite a lot of Mew these days because just playing. Yeah, I don't know what deck to play. I don't like Pokeball Squad Net lah. Yeah, I feel like sometimes it clogs up your hand. Plus, for you to hit the Pokeball and the Pokeball with the turn that you need it, sometimes it's
You don't have the
I don't know. Yeah, how about you? I know that you.
Okay. You know how many rounds do they play, and what's the format? Is it BO1 or BO3?
Great question.
Yeah.
I
I have no idea. But assuming it's the same as us lah, maybe
They also had like
probably
I
like
believe
BO stage 1, stage 2,
they also
etc.
had
is it?
qualifying in shops, which then led to the
Ah.
thing. But I'm not exactly 100% sure lah to check with.
So without knowing what it is, right, I would say that Pumpkaboo is really good in BO3. You don't want to start with it like unnecessarily and then price your scoop up net or whatever, right? But there's merit in BO1. It allows you to play the game.
Yeah.
Right? That's the first
True.
thing, right? But second thing is how many rounds do you play?
Yeah,
right? And
correct.
is it a single elimination? Do you get out after?
I
one
believe
loss?
the top 8 was single elimination. Yes.
So maybe they played X rounds.
Yeah. Then they
But
go
we're
to
not sure
top-
it's like
yeah.
BO1 or BO3, then cut to 8 lah. Then from there they play until champion lah.
So if you're single elimination, your top process is I want to play the game every time, right? Doesn't matter if like I have to use Genesec's ability draw to 5 instead,
Yeah.
but at least it's better than somebody throws a path at you and then it's like
Cannot play at all.
Yeah. Then just
Yeah.
stare at the ceiling.
right, then you deal with it, right? So I would think that his mentality is I want to play a game every time. I want to not get shut out by path, right? And of course it's searchable, right? It's
Yeah.
5 more outs,
Yeah.
right? You have the ball engine, more than 5 outs, a lot of outs.
A lot
right?
9 total.
So
lah,
nine,
right?
nine outs.
Nine outs as compared to like you have to draw.
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes
true.
it's really hard to preserve the stadium, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
you do a heads-up play where you hold the stadium in your hand, or you rotom form for the stadium, put it on top.
Then you get judged.
Judge or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah.
Then why do you put yourself so much trouble when you can, use a
Yeah,
Pumpkaboo, right?
without-
And Mew decks at a certain point they have an inevitability, right? They sometimes at a point when they set up your board, they don't have to draw so much.
Yeah, true.
So it's
They
like
can just
Yeah,
conserve.
correct. And near the mid plus game,
so
yeah. then
maybe
you're-
Fusion Strike draw to 5 may not be that big of a deal as
Yeah.
compared to like, hey, I draw 1 less card but I get to play the game. Hey,
Yeah.
maybe that's thought process. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. That's what he's thinking. Yeah.
Since we're on the topic of like BO1 or BO3, right? Do you guys feel that the list for when you prepare for a tournament, right? If you know it's a BO1, does your list change differently?
Yeah.
You should.
Unlike
Yeah.
You should.
that, if you know that you are playing a BO3.
Yeah, cause like I don't want to start with Pokemon. That's why I will not play. Like it's what you said. Like I want to start like the most consistent start game, man. So like so like some
He
of the
said BO1 he will play Pokeball because Pokeball allows you to play the game.
yeah, but okay. So like
Yeah.
you want the one the more consistently. Like I think most of the Arceus decks in Singapore meta all play 4 Arceus, because you want to start with Arceus.
True.
Majority of them all play 4 Arceus. Like if you see like after the whole EUIC fiasco, right, people started playing 2 Arceus, 3 Arceus or something. So like you see the Singapore meta all play 4 Arceus. So that's why like you obviously want to start with Arceus and you don't want to have anything start with anything else.
For me, I think because all along we have been playing BO3,
Yeah.
right? So like our focus and our way of building decks is very, very different if we were to be put into a BO1 format. That's why I feel like normally most of the time when we look at Japanese lists,
It's all BO1.
yeah, it's very funny because like many times we reference Japanese lists as a preference for deck building, but the way that they build their decks and the way that we build our decks sometimes is quite different in nature lah. I would feel, yeah, because like they know that they are in a BO1 format, so like hence sometimes their decks are built in that certain way lah. Like from the later I think we will be
Yeah, we'll look at the
looking
Japanese deck,
Japanese
Japanese
listers,
deck.
right? So like maybe we can explore more later lah.
Sure, sure.
But for now, so Mew double Mew win, not surprising I would say.
Yeah.
But I'm more surprised that the Indonesia one won against Asia's Birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
The guy break off.
okay lah, maybe lah. But
Yeah,
to me, I feel
Also
that
played very well as well. He did
also
really very well that match.
the truth is Mew. To me, Mew is a deck that you don't really have bad matchups.
Yeah.
Because Mew gives you the ability to play the game lah. I would say, yeah. As long as you don't get turn one, like okay, I mean, if your opponent plays 4 pick, turn one they pick you, that one you cannot do anything lah. Yeah, that one you just smile at him, then you tell him, okay lah, let's move to game 2. But if it's BO1, then you cry on. I mean, like
Yeah.
but yeah. Other than that, like because it gives you everything you want in a deck lah. You draw, you see cards, you take prizes fast. Yeah. So I'm not surprised lah that Mew actually won lah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look next at the Melbourne Regionals. So that wrapped up last weekend.
The all Palkia.
I think everyone knows about the Palkia shutout. All top 8 decks were Origin Forme Palkia VSTAR. But the keynote was that there were 2 different kinds of Origin Forme Palkia VSTAR. So there was one where it's the vanilla build or conventional build where Shady Dealings is the engine that drives the deck. And the other one is something new. Something that maybe Clifton can give us a bit of input as well in.
Right.
A turbo idea. So I think there was about a week or 2 back, there was a Dialga VSTAR deck that suddenly popped up which used a Mew engine. So it's reminiscent of the times I think old place member Jirachi looked to search top 5 cards for a trainer, but Mew instead would search for top 7, I believe, right?
6.
Step 6, sorry, to look for an item card specifically. So in that same vein, using Mew to drive the whole deck, so it powers Dialga VSTAR very fast to use his VSTAR attack. I believe this deck was created by Brent, I think in like the middle of the morning.
It's on Thursday actually.
Yeah, the idea that so we have the input from here. So he created the deck, and the top 4 players himself, Christian Asbani, who actually won the whole thing, Kaiwan, who got 2nd place, and Natalie Miller also played that. The other players like Henry, he played the vanilla Palkia VSTAR. I think before we just go into this, boss, you actually predicted that Mew was a good card when it first came out.
Yeah, from a long time ago.
Yeah,
when they throw at the tables.
And no one give a second thought like, oh, what are you talking about?
I mean, the thing is just a shittier Jirachi,
yeah.
right? If you think about it, but I feel like it's good lah. I mean, it's the only this type of Pokemon in our current format, so I think it's good lah.
I think the changing point was when they printed boots.
Yeah, the tracking
because
boots.
without tracking boots, there's no other like trainer which can allows you to draw cards or see cards. So I think like one of the key points why we suddenly see this kind of
turbo
decks
come out.
it's because of tracking boots.
Talking about adding cards, Radiant Greninja also.
Yeah, another card that
So
really
there's sometimes where you can't really loop the Mew, but you have a scoop up net in hand.
Can
So just use it. Yeah.
So do you think Mew is a good card?
Yeah, it's definitely a good card. Definitely a good card. Yeah, I lost to it yesterday.
Oh!
Yeah.
Then look at the list. So the deck also plays 2 DNC, also from Astral Radiance. So this card, when it's in the active spot, you cannot use a supporter to pull up an opponent's bench Pokemon. So boss orders are
Bench
out of the
basic.
picture. Bench basics, sorry, yeah. So you need to protect basics. They also play one piece of Zigzagoon, one piece of Pumpkaboo that can take out Stadium. We got, as we're talking about, 4 tracking boots and 4 bucket, really loading this deck with a lot of powerful item cards.
Interesting thing to note is they only play 6 supporters.
Yes.
Yeah.
4 boss, 2 manually. You would think that that's not enough.
But because your Mew can search out the
yeah,
items
exactly. Because you are thinning your deck so fast.
So I think this is a deck that expect to see a lot in your local meta soon lah.
Yeah.
People are definitely going to be playing
Coming
this
to a
deck.
LGS near you.
Yes, for
It's
sure.
already there. It's already there, right? It's already there.
But
Yeah.
how do you feel overall, as the engine itself? Not as a deck, but the Mew engine in general. Do you think we will see more of these pop up since that towards the end of Brilliant Stars format, we see people start playing Jotion, but with memory capsule just to stop Inteleon. Yeah. So do you think like this will have a significant impact on the meta, that people will start to drop Jotion? Like, will it be a weird case where like people won't play Jotion anymore because no one is playing Inteleon?
Yeah.
And everybody's playing Mew, so therefore I play Weezing, that kind of thing,
I mean, we can agree that it's faster than the normal.
It's a turbo ma.
It's nice.
Right? But I think this is what the deck will be after the rotation.
Yeah, I do
like
agree.
something like that lah.
But after rotation, they lose Melanie, right?
No,
lah.
they keep Melanie. They lose quick ball.
You lose quick ball lah. You lose quick ball.
And Scuba is
No,
Scuba also.
Scuba.
And
Squad Rebel
Yeah.
Clash. Then, but the thing is, after they rotate, they still got other cards come out. So you never know what it is, man.
And they lose the Quebec. Quebec very important.
Yeah.
The Quebec is also quite important.
But also as well, like now that the deck is so much public knowledge, right? I think it's going to have a big target on it as well. Like,
But how to target it?
Yeah, here comes the point. Yeah, like what Boss Thomas said, right? Like, how do you actually specifically target this deck? Like to me, I mean, Palkia is so efficient. 2 energy, you 2 hitting almost everything in the format, unless your opponent is a VMAX and they don't bench anything else, which is so unlikely in this current state of the game that we are playing. Yeah, and I really like the Diancie idea. Like, would you care to share why?
Originally there was no Diancie inside. It's copy and paste almost of the Dialga engine, right? Of course, Brent came up with it, yeah. And later on, they found that sometimes they need to slam the brakes, especially in Mirror. So one of the pain points of Mirror is it's mostly decided by the coin flip, barring very unnaturally like bad draws. Whoever goes second tends to be on the back foot, and it's not pretty. But with Diancie, it gives you a remedy for that. And one thing, spike draw, it cannot be understated. That 20 you hammer in
plays
home,
a big part.
right? So Palkia means that you can play a bit defensively. You can be hard to return KO. You just need less resources, right? So Diancie is very good in the mirror. Let's not forget, it's also very good against Mew, because Palkia is like often 1 or 2 turns behind in Mew, against Mew. So Diancie buys you the turn, then you can just go with the odd price trade, right? You can play a 7 price card game, right? They take a Diancie, you can just like, in theory, take your prices in a way that's like 2 pricer. From that point on, and they will lose the trade because of Star Portal and 4 boss. So on paper, that's the idea. So
the deck was built based on the idea, right? You just go 2-2.
The spike draw is obviously consistency, damage, right? You can pull off very cute plays like, if the Mew player does not suspect it, spike draw for 20, now Mew's at 290, don't need to explain to you, a full bench from both sides and the choice band, right? Score unexpected KO. Yeah, there are a lot of ways to play it.
So going forward, do you think more people will play this engine or Inteleon?
More people will play and more of them will fail.
Yeah.
Because this deck is not so easy to play.
It's
a lot of decision making, I feel. So
the sequencing for this deck is very unique.
it's
You
not
need
so
to get
easy.
used to it. Yeah.
I always preach about Inteleon engine, but now when I see this deck,
especially like in our past podcast, we're always going whether Bibarel or Shady Dealing, and now we have
Mew, throw Mew into the mix, Mew celebrate.
Now people are trying with other Pokemons. With this engine.
I think the engine itself is pretty good. The fact that you can abuse Mew to get Scuba Net, to abuse Greninja, a bit broken, a bit. Like one turn you are seeing so many cards. But as Clifton said, I think the sequencing for this deck not easy Probably you have to play a bit more.
It's not just pick up and play that kind.
I'm not sure about easy or hard. It's just most people are not used to it.
Like will be more it's very different. The way you run this deck and the way if you are playing an Italian deck is very different. I would say.
As you're saying, this deck, it lends itself into like can be used for other kinds of decks. I'm like off the top of my head, I'm thinking like if you're using a Dialga, and like if any other metal type decks could use this thing as well.
Okay, to be honest, I tried this like the
engine with
Darkrai. Cause
I knew it.
Because
I
I really love Darkrai. If you all didn't know, okay. But okay, the issue is that Darkrai is not an efficient attacker. Like okay, why Delga works right is because of Delga's VSTAR power.
Yeah.
Or tech lah, whatever you want to call it. The extra turn is quite broken. Yeah. And why it works with Palkia is because Palkia is very efficient. You know, like 2 energy get going. And
the VSTAR they can just like charge another
exactly,
attacker.
because like you don't need item cards to accelerate energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know lah. To me, maybe we will see someone break the format with this engine. With something else. Yeah, we just have to stay tuned and find out lah. Yeah, probably NAIC.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, like the way that the meta has changed is just so fast, you know. Like you blink one day, you'll be like, one week we were like, oh, we can't play Intellion anymore because of Jolteon.
Yeah.
Then next week we were like, hey, here's a new engine.
Yeah.
What's coming next week? We don't know. It just like really quickly you blink an eye and then we get something else
To
coming.
me, it's quite cool lah, because like we are still having the same like pool of cards.
Yeah,
but new ideas keep popping up. You know, wow. It's been a long time since Pokemon had such a diverse format. You know, it's not just deck ABC. Now you have like A to Z or like some nonsense. Even if it's ABC, but like same card, different engine. Yeah.
Also, I believe that there was someone in Japan who was also playing a similar Mew engine at the same time.
Oh yes. I think Japan Nationals.
Yeah, I was also playing with Palkia as well, but then they had slight difference, had the electric package inside.
But he played with the Mew engine as well. So I think it's pretty cool. Like people are like starting to catch on to this, you know, Mew with tracking shoes.
Mew tracking shoes.
Mew tracking shoes, Scuba Net.
Greninja.
Yeah, because okay, now if you take a look at deck lists, I can safely say that almost all deck lists plays for Quick Ball, for Ultra Ball, which is like the backbone of the deck lah. Plus you throw Mew into there, then like you just want to find, you know, now because these days we are all playing with like V-Stars, right?
Yeah.
Or like V-Maxes, so we have to, you know, we want to get our main attacker down on turn 1 as soon as possible, because we have to evolve. That's the bad part. I mean, to me that's the downside of this format. You know, like my attackers have to be on the field for 1 turn before him becoming a real like becoming an attacker. Yeah. So like this whole Mew engine adds the consistency to it lah. Like it's so much easier for you to get down that Pokemon onto your bench turn 1. Yeah, whichever Pokemon that you need lah.
I mean, unless that you're both V-Stars get into the prize.
Yeah, there are no choice. You need a Hisuian evolution incense.
Hisuian evolution incense.
Of course.
A heavy ball.
Heavy ball.
Okay. We'll talk later a bit more about Palkia at the end of the podcast, but let's go into the Taiwan Championships. So shout out to Ferdy Lee who gave me some of this information. So as I know, it was a 2-day tournament with about 3,000 players who played this tournament. Yeah, and you could change decks. You could change that between day 1 and day 2.
Oh, you can change decks. Okay,
Yeah, so if you could find the day 2, you could change decks.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if like day 1 was BO1 and day 2 BO3. I'm not exactly certain, but what I've seen on Twitter was that there were a number of day 1 players who used Mew, and then day 2 they switched to Arceus.
Okay, but judging from the information, I'm guessing maybe day 1 might.
Yeah, maybe day 1, and then that's why we think.
Like I said before in the past podcast, like Arceus very good in BO3. Because you negate the fact that even you go first or second, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Do you know if top card is BO3?
Yes, top
should
card
be
BO3. That card is definitely BO3.
Yeah,
That card
yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
I watched top card. It was definitely BO3.
BO3. Yeah.
So the winner was Chi Jing-jong Chu. Sorry if I butchered your name, but congratulations, man.
Chu is the surname.
Oh, Chu the surname. Okay, Chu
Chi Jing.
Yeah,
sorry, our Chinese not good.
But it's not our like.
Yeah, but he used Arceus VSTAR Intellion, so it's a deck that we're all familiar with Cheren's Care and all that. But he had a few things that were different because there were like some new cards that Taiwan players have. So he had Radiant Gardevoir in his deck. So Radiant Gardevoir, what does it do? It has an ability that all your Pokemon take 20 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon V. It also has an attack that I think was not relevant in this deck, which is for 1 psychic in 2 colors. It does a 70 plus damage psychic attack, which does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active. The runner-up player, she used the Palkia VSTAR with Ice Rider Calyrex. So once that deck comes up, I will share with you guys. But let's talk about the Taiwan champion deck. So in addition to the Radiant Gardevoir, he also had one of Powerful Energy as well. The one that gives an extra 20 damage if you set onto a
Interesting.
Arceus VSTAR.
Okay.
2 Sharon's Care, I think that we are quite synchronously with Palpad. What do you guys think of this deck?
Actually, I realized something about this.
Yeah.
The whole Taiwan deck, like they and Thailand, like they can play Zoroark, the Zoroark V.
Yeah, but it
But
didn't.
it didn't well. So maybe like it shows that maybe Zoroark
Not so good.
not so good. But then, but to be fair, there's Intelligent Engine, so we have to wait for the Intelligent
Rotation,
Engine.
is it? Yeah.
Probably if it
True,
rotates.
but the Intelligent Engine will only rotate for them
Yeah.
in January,
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
So yeah, also means it shows that maybe Zoroark, like despite
Not
all
that
the-
dominant.
Yeah, it's not that
No.
dominant, and maybe it wasn't even a deck to beat. I don't know.
Mm.
I saw a Zoroark on stream though.
Yeah, so Zoroark got-
I think it was Taiwan.
I think
or-
Taiwan
Yeah,
version,
they,
yeah.
they played, but I did it was like 8-0 at one point or something, but then after he lost. Also, I'm not very sure. Yeah. But this deck, I think why the synergy are so good with the Radiant. Now they are telling me that Radiant Gardevoir.
Even harder to die.
Oh my gosh.
even harder to
Numbers
die.
are very nice.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
numbers
very
so
Three
nice.
30 all with big charm.
Yeah, it's no, yeah, exactly 330 with it's not as in effective HP is 330, but like
You can share.
who can one hit your
Yeah.
Arceus anymore without weakness
Yeah.
in the
There's-
format?
There's dance pass also.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's why it's to
Looking
remove.
at it, right, it was
Yeah.
very deliberate. Like, look at this. 2 Sharon's Care.
Yeah, exactly.
Palpad, two big charms.
Yeah, 2 big charms, not
So the whole idea behind it is like, okay, I just war behind my Arceus, 200, 200, 200, till I win the game.
So the thing
It's
is
like,
that
yeah,
330, right, you're very much out of range.
of everything.
Among like one of the common numbers you would see is probably 280
Yeah,
from
exactly.
you know, Ice Rider,
Ice
okay,
Rider also, Ice Rider.
Meloetta with right
4 energy.
Yeah.
4 Fusion Strike, right? He uses
Yeah, the
Melodious
thing
Echo.
is, even 4 Fusion Strike
And choice band on it.
and choice
And the damage
yeah,
modifier,
it's
yeah.
not, it's not even enough.
And the
Oh my
most
gosh.
important thing is that you know you can do it once.
Yeah.
That's the second big charm is going to come down, and then you're out of steam. Yeah.
Exactly.
And with Sharon's Care, they can recycle this. So, Gardevoir is good.
Yeah.
There's like nothing that can remove Gardevoir's ability other than
I mean,
Cologne.
Path to the peak.
Path.
Yeah, path to the peak.
other-
Because he has a keyword.
Which is something that's
Yeah.
uncommon.
I mean, he runs path as well
Yeah,
because
2
I
paths,
guess.
He don't need it lah. Maybe.
Yeah, no, like
I think they will.
like
they will
certain
see-
matchups.
they will
Yeah,
see, yeah,
certain
certain
matchups. Yeah.
So for example, if like if my intention is to tank, I will not play Path. Maybe I want tank against Mew, right?
That's it.
I'll play down Gardevoir. Then if you overcommit, right?
Then he puff.
Then you path.
Then I
yeah.
Path. Then I punish you.
Box and
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And how about what do you guys think about the powerful colors energy?
I think it's good
One
because
off.
he hits some numbers nicely. Let's not talk about DT. So like without DT will be
220.
220, then with the band 250. 250 can pass that quick. Is that quick shooting? No, actually.
No.
He just
Shading-
did double
shading
shading.
shading.
So 250 is the max. Let me think, what can he hit 250?
Yeah, see like so.
They play capture.
Yeah, he plays double capture energy.
Yeah.
as
250
well.
you can
Like,
hit
it's-
other Arceus that already set big charm lah. Like
Yeah,
if they want to protect their Arceus V, they'll set a big
Yeah,
charm,
correct.
so you can hit it. You can hit that.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's just to like the whole list is based on consistency. It's the whole idea that okay, I leave a Arceus in front, I leave another Arceus behind. I search what I want with Italian, and I just constantly doing 200 damage.
But will you
Till I
still
win the
play
game.
money even though there's Roxanne?
Yes, why not? Because money is
Serve
such
different
a
purposes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Roxanne is the
Play-
game.
and the
Yeah, Roxanne is the nail in the coffin.
What's
Whereas-
their BO3
yeah.
win con if time runs out?
that's another great
yeah.
question.
I'm not sure. If
I mean, if it's top 8
doesn't apply-
BO3, should be untimed, right?
No, it's time.
It's
It's
time.
time.
It's
It was
time.
time.
Oh, it's time.
But I'm
I think
not
it's
certain-
75 minutes.
75
right?
minutes.
This deck plays a long game.
Yes.
So
exactly.
if
Your beat cannot be this, yeah.
Then until die.
What do you mean? What do you-
Yeah.
yeah, so if it plays a long game and it's BO3 and under certain rules, right? Sometimes it's good to hold on to the lead, right?
Exactly. But do you feel like this kind of deck, like how to say, like you know the game plan of your opponent, but it feels like you can do nothing to stop it. You
Yeah.
know, like you when you look at the list, you'll be like, okay, wow, it's very obvious what the game plan is, but there are so little things you can do to if your deck is not designed to beat this.
There's nothing wrong with that,
You don't
especially
play Manaphy. You don't even play Manaphy. Like you're not even scared of the Urshifu.
especially seeing right.
Yeah.
The, you did mention day one there are a lot of new players, right?
Yeah.
So looking at this list is like, you know, I don't want Mew to succeed.
yeah.
Exactly.
And I think one of the mindsets is basically because day one there are a lot of new players, and yes, you can switch decks, but how many would, right? Now your mentality is like, this deck got myself so far, I'm so comfortable with this deck, right?
Like, why would I change
Right
if
or
I'm
die, right?
successful? Yeah.
So if their mindset is to predicate on that, like, oh, people are going to stick to their comfort deck, you know, then we run extreme hit, right? Let's put in everything, right? 2 Path, 2 Charms, 2 Charon's Care, Gardevoir, Radiant Gardevoir, right? You know, Palpat. Let's just go in, right? Yeah.
Imagine playing against 4 Charon Cares. Oh my god.
But do you think this deck will fall to Urshifu? Like
Fold to Urshifu.
I would argue that you.
unless you're telling me that no one plays Urshifu because he's scared of Mew, I mean, they could think that they are.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, like, if because what I'm seeing here, okay, this is my idea. You know, that's why you mentioned Gardevoir's attack, right?
Yeah.
No, but they don't play Psychic.
Yeah, I know. But that's why if
Like the off chance they play Psychic, then
like they play one psychic, you know, that kind of thing.
It might be a meta sensitive.
Yeah. But if you ask me if these lists can win,
but even if
against
one Psychic,
Urshifu-
it's not enough to knock out. Even if it's Psychic, it's not enough to knock out Urshifu.
Yeah lah, I know lah. I just saying. No, but if you ask me if like this list can actually beat Urshifu, I will say it really depends lah. Because sometimes Urshifu, the problem is it doesn't run Manaphy, right? Yeah. But so the Urshifu probably have to chase the dance pass like twice.
I guess the Urshifu player just take one dance pass, one Sorbonne, they go for Arceus for the last
But the Arceus is hitting you all the while.
Yeah, the Arceus is doing constant 200. So
especially
how,
on you.
You take 2, he take 3.
yeah,
Kick
like
another
how
2.
often can you
Yeah.
chain back to back G-Max Rapping Flow.
Yeah.
Like even you are God, like I don't think
Keith can.
Yeah, I mean
No, but okay, you see right,
Yeah.
the Arceus is to hit the Urshifu, right?
yeah, but you are also two hitting the Arceus.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So you hit him.
No, but I take 2 points. I mean that my one Urshifu will take 4 points before you knock out my.
Okay, let me just give you a scenario. The scenario you are laying is if the Urshifu player can back to back G-Max Rapid Flow, right? So the only way that the Urshifu player can G-Max Rapid Flow back to back is either I knock him out with a Pokemon, then he play Raihan, or he runs Melody, right? Or he plays Galarian Moltres,
Then
the
the
dark
E-switch,
one, right?
yeah.
Then the E-switch, right? Okay, so the path solves that one, right? So even if that happens twice in a row, I can simply just Rock Sand Path my opponent, and the Urshifu is left naked, like no energy,
Then 3
and I just double hit the Urshifu while tanking with my Arceus, chain tanking with my Arceus. Because even without the dance pass, Urshifu with the choice belt, okay, I mean with choice belt you kinda one hit lah, but without choice belt with the new Radiant Gardevoir, right, and the big charm, it's so hard for the Urshifu to one hit you. Plus Urshifu without the stadium, it's even harder him to constantly gear trust.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if he play against Urshifu or not lah, but I'm guessing that his gameplay will be okay. I bench, you know, Sobber, I bench Dance Pass. I will just continue benching my shit, but I'm doing 200 to you every turn. Like, do you have an answer? No answer. Okay, then I just continue hitting. Cause if you're not hitting my Arceus, I don't have to play Cherry Care. Yeah. So that's the beauty of this deck. I feel like it forces your opponent to, sometimes you force your opponent into a very unfair trade, you know.
Yeah,
They're like,
okay,
okay, if you hit my Arceus, I'm just gonna heal.
Yeah.
If you go after my babies, okay, my engine might not be able to set up, but I still have access to Starbirth, which allows me to get my Arceus to hit 200 every
Yeah,
turn.
okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
An interesting thing about the powerful energy is that, okay, look at it. They don't play Galarian Zigzag Gunner. You know that
Yeah,
in the mirror, right?
Yeah.
210 doesn't cut it.
210, yeah.
Right? 210 doesn't cut it. So sometimes
So
if
maybe
you have
that's their so-called extra damage.
exactly. If you have the opportunity to do so, you may want to do 230 knockout Arceus. And the reason perhaps why they don't
Maybe you
include-
want to start with it.
Oh, that's
I
one
feel,
thing.
yeah.
Secondly, I think they are a bit tight on bench space by one slot compared to the average list because of the Radiant Gardevoir.
Yeah. Where the Manaphy usually be as well.
Maybe that's why bench space as well as like you don't want to open with a bad starter and forced to use a net on it.
So the mentality is like, you know what, I can search for any card, so I shall abuse that ability and use powerful energy. Exactly. And I keep on bench space. With Charon's Care, I can reuse it.
It's also very interesting that you don't run Raihan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't like. But I mean, like Starbuff is like basically any 2 cards also lah.
Yeah,
So oh well.
I mean, there's Melody, so
But one many.
Yeah. I mean, it's good
Usually
enough.
usually they want to like come back.
Yeah, you just need one. Yeah, to come
Italian.
back.
So
Yeah, I mean Italian, you know, my love for Italian.
We changed for a love for Mew.
Yeah.
Oh well, let's look at the Japan Championships next. So, Veggie won. Palkia VSTAR meta was
Danny
dominated
Gigas.
by Veggie Gigas.
Gigas.
Danny Gigas. The winning list for the Veggie deck included 2 bosses orders, which is something that's a bit like uncommon for current Veggie decks, more on the English side of things. The runner-up actually used a more vanilla Palkia VSTAR with Battle VIP, 3 Irida, the Shady Dealings package, but no Starmie V and no SQ.
Nessa.
Nessa is in the deck.
Oh, your favorite card.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like Danny was saying earlier, there were a number of Hisuian Zorak V-Stars, but like, and there were some also decks that played the charging energy Clefairy, the one that charge psychic energies.
Then they play with the world. They play the world deer, is it? The deer.
The word deer, so the word deer will charge all and just whack for a big damage.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry, what does the Clefairy do again?
Wow, great question.
Is it just charge your bench or something?
No, it can actually search for energy cards.
Search for energy card.
Yeah, it's like you can search for psychic energy cards. It's like usually you play with Shadow
Vigor Vault.
Rider.
It's a
is it a
bigger
bigger
vault.
vault?
No,
It's
no,
Clefairy, so that's a bit broken, bah.
Yeah,
So
it's
basic,
actually
yeah.
on a Clefairy, but
It's a basic Vigor Vault. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, it's not because
it's not a Vika Volt, no.
Okay.
Let me just try and have a
Just
quick
put
look at it.
Dark Phantasma Clefairy.
Oh, good idea. Yeah,
Wow,
Dark
you even know the
Phantasma.
set, huh?
Very
Very
from
in tune with the Japanese meta, I see.
Wait,
Oh, great.
next one.
That's the Clefable, right? Oh no, you just click the Pokebeach one. Just give me a second here.
Wow. Psychic type.
Oh, great.
Do they run for Crystal in the
Keep the bubble
format?
pea.
Yeah, I have. I get. There's still Fog Crystal in the format, lah.
Okay, let's look at the Clefairy. So the ability of the Clefairy is a 60 HP Pokemon. Moon Watching. Once during your turn, this Pokemon is in the active spot. You may search your deck for a psychic energy, attach it
What
to
the-
each of your bench Clefairy. Then shuffle it out.
So it's just
Yeah.
count the border lah.
Yeah. So the because model when it moves to the active, it moves energy to the.
Yeah.
You know what's the best part? They only pay one order.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing only pay one.
I mean, this is the card that I've been eyeing ever since I saw Mewtwo V-Star. lah.
But you only charge to the Clefairy, right?
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
order will just like.
How do you give it to the V-Star?
Oh no, because the Mewtwo V-Star, you have to discard from the Mew. You can discard from anywhere. You can discard from your.
It's like the Raichu V like that.
Ah.
Okay.
Okay.
You can discard anywhere, so you discard from the Clefairy.
That's actually quite interesting, Yeah.
The Clefable, no one will really play like just like you set it on, all your Pokemon take 30 less damage from attacks from your opponents. I don't know what type. It's Dragon type. Oh great, then no one's really gonna play. Yeah. So there were these decks that were played, but Palkia VSTAR just dominated Japan as well, as expected, right?
Consistency is king.
Subspace swell goes brr.
That's true. Let's look at the veggie list. Another key difference from veggie is like you normally see look like it's the veggie lucky that they're using is the new one that hits for 120 and I believe 40.
No, that's the old one.
Oh, that's the old one. Sorry, the new one here that hits.
The new one is
So they
just.
both hit 130. Just that the new one stacks. Can
130.
stack anything.
In front is
120.
120, 40, 40, the old one, right?
Yeah, the one is 120 in front, 40, 40.
Okay. So that's one big difference besides playing the
Boss orders.
boss orders. They also play a Jubilife Village as well, one copy of it. Okay, I believe someone here has actually tested the Japanese deck.
I'm not a fan
Danny
of it.
Gigas.
Not a fan of it. I'm not sure why lah, but like
You feel too clunky.
not clunky, just like I break too much. It's like
Isn't that clunky?
no clunky is
Breaking.
okay. Like, the clunky is where he thinks doesn't work, but this deck okay. So like every time I draw the play this deck, right, it's like I'll either draw more supported than Pokemon. Like I will not draw the right amount of energies that I need to put in this card. So like I feel like this deck need to have some way to like just throw everything and then just draw back. So I think a card like Xenia is good because like Xenia allows you to discard energies that you want. You can play cards like Pioneer if you really want, but then there isn't really much good draw engine. I'll even play tracking shoe in this deck, but this deck has quite tight lah.
So you think the Western way of
No, but the Western way is actually like okay. So like one list that I saw.
Oh, this guy come
He's
prepared.
ready,
ah.
he's ready.
Like,
He's ready to talk about Gigas.
Like there's this like
Gigas.
So there's this like Dominican presents, right? The guy played like the supporter card was like 4 research, 2 Cynthia, 2 boss. Then they play like it's a bit similar, but they played Stormy Mountains instead of Buff to the Pig. Or they whether in fact they play like 3 Stormy, 1 Buff. Then Michael Pemberwald, he plays like 5 Stadium. He plays 3 Stormy and 2 Buff to the Pig. So up to personal preference. I think I like.
But no money.
No money.
Yeah,
No money.
no
Yeah, I
money.
don't really like
More
money.
hand distraction.
Another thing that this Japanese deck did play 3 copies of money as well.
Yeah, I feel like okay, like would you bring such a deck knowing that there's
SQ exists.
Yeah. Like, exactly. Like do you? It's like
Okay.
why we didn't see NPC.
Okay, you must do a lot of thing. Don't ever pack against Mim deck one Rahul say one Like while he play Reggie
I mean, it's a very all-in deck. Like if you,
But I'm actually quite surprised that he won because I'm not sure is it because of his matchups or like
It's not Heidi matchups
or
just
like,
sit down
no,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
or it's just like
maybe the
because-
opponent don't know what is going on. But it cannot be. Also.
Cannot be
No,
lah.
cannot be.
This thing along
Yeah.
for
I
very
mean,
long way.
he won Shintaro.
Yeah,
Shintaro is the runner
in
up.
the finals. Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot say that Shintaro is a bad player because
Yeah,
like
I mean,
he
we know that
actually
this
won
deck
most.
actually.
Yeah,
I know in day 2 out of the 6 or 7 matches, 4 Palkia VSTAR, including the finals.
none of them run SQ.
That's why I'm not wondering.
Maybe no one
because-
thought of SQ there. Maybe.
No,
maybe
like,
cannot
cannot
be
be
lah.
Yeah, like
no, but because you see,
Yeah, Clefairy also play really hard.
okay, so like I've been actually looking through all the Reggie's deck since it was released, right? Like no one ever thought of SQ. Like only Westerners thought of SQ. Like I'm not even joking. I have not seen like all the Poke card that the deck is. I have never seen a single SQ. Like I usually went to dig and check.
Okay, I was watching the stream a little bit.
Okay.
Main event, second round, I did see an ice cube.
Oh, so there
The
was.
guy was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Ice
the guy was
Cube,
like literally Buroku face, right? Yeah. But still didn't end up well.
But then again, you said he was playing the new one, right? The one that like can slap 130 on the bench. So maybe that and boss order, maybe that's his answer to.
No, he's playing the old one.
So wait. So he's
Wait,
playing the
wait.
old or the
He's,
new one?
he's playing the one that does 40 to the bench.
Okay, the
Okay.
130,
120, 40
The
bench.
Evolving Skies one.
The Evolving
Yeah.
Skies one.
Okay.
So the boss order doesn't really help him against the SQ as well, right?
No,
Like-
I mean, like what he can, I assume what he did is, let's say he managed to snap 40 on the SQ, then he boss, then he snap something, then put in a 40 on the SQ.
Yeah,
Then
that's
he boss
assuming
the-
everybody in Japan is bad.
Maybe I don't know like, or maybe the guy just priced the SQ
The
lah.
simple reason is that he didn't meet the ice cube.
Yeah.
The ice
Yeah.
cube just
I
got
feel-
weeded out.
Yeah, I feel like okay, but it's true also lah. Maybe because of their format, the nature of the format. You know, like the Japanese idea, like I said, BO1, they won't want to dedicate a slot just to win a matchup. Like I won't say it's a terrible matchup because if you actually run Manaphy, I feel like it's manageable.
Yeah.
In the Palkia, but it's definitely not favored lah. But it's not like a 80-20 kind of matchup. You know, it's probably closer to like 60-40. So maybe like all the Palkia players, they were thinking, okay, I just want to go consistent, you know, then if I meet this deck, I can outskill them.
I'll play this deck. If our nationals was this one, I'll play Reggie.
Oh.
Yeah, 100% play. Because he's a 6 color. Like, he beats, like, he has a matchup, it's an edge against every other deck. It's an edge against.
Just because it's a single pricer.
No, it's like, okay, Reggie, yes. Reggie Gigas from you. Against Jotion, you have, like, Reggie Gigas and Reggie Rock. Against,
Basically, you have weakness
against
lah
like,
over
against like
everything
if someone
lah.
really plays Charizard, you have like Veggie Ice. You can use the Veggie Draco. Yeah, you just draw cards. You don't really use it to attack. Veggie still you can use it to hit.
Ice Rider.
That's right.
Yeah,
Ice
Rider.
Rider.
Yeah, Ice Rider,
No,
yeah. So I think you have a decent edge against most decks.
Except itself.
Yeah, except you probably lose to yourself, which I lose like myself. It's way.
No, I think what Clifton Man was like mirror, you have like 0 mirror, so mirror is like stupid.
Yeah, but you also lose to yourself in the sense that if you don't draw,
don't draw that correct combination of cards. You know, like sometimes you cannot discard the energy, etc.
Trying to figure out how can you get a
Mirror
edge mirror, both in terms of deck building and gameplay.
Yeah,
it's
but
a bit rigid. You see, we need.
Yeah,
need
like
them all
because
to
you
be
need you need the Exodia, you know,
Yeah.
before like you can actually
anything,
accelerate energy.
Well,
It's pretty weird.
I haven't figured it out yet. So
Yeah, but I think quite interesting is that like not many Arceus decks in Japan. Like we kind of see like Arceus fall off and like Palkia become the new Arceus, you know. So thoughts on that? Palkia number 1.
Shintaro Ito playing Intelligent Engine.
He played Intelligent Engine, yeah.
I mean, Irida Intelligent is very good. Like much better than Arceus.
I mean, to me, if Intelligent goes uncounted, like let's say Jotion wasn't a card.
Yeah.
Hands down, everybody will play Intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, you can search almost any card in your deck.
Yeah.
Obviously, he will play Intelligent. But I'm not sure what's his mirror age lah. I haven't seen his list. And like going second, like Clifton mentioned just now, hurts. But especially in Palkia Mirror lah. If you go second, wow, it really hurts ah. Sometimes, you know, if your opponent just don't even have to do much. Your opponent just have to just bench a Palkia turn 1, turn 2 just go like catch hit, game over. Nothing much you can do. That's why I'm so that you say he ran like capture energy as well as like VIP pass, is it?
Yeah.
For Palkia. I think that's a interesting approach. Double capture right?
energy,
And 1 VIP pass.
Most
Okay, I can
fun.
understand 1 VIP pass lah because like
you're gonna play the-
personally
yeah,
I also
with that
played
style.
I played the 1 VIP pass with the fish Luminon. But double capture, I think it's just to boost his consistency lah. And I like that he actually plays 9 energies over the typical like 7 water.
Yeah.
And I won't say Nessa is good, bad, because I never played the card before, but I feel that sometimes you don't have the time to play Nessa. Of course, the recovery is always good, you know, because like if you play like a title list, sometimes you want to recover. Yeah, he's playing from my.
Was he the first? No, it's not.
Yeah, this.
Rare
Yeah, and he played 2 cross switcher.
Oh,
which
there was
is,
a rare candy as well.
Yeah.
this is actually a very spicy list.
Oh wow, rare.
These
oh,
are
rare
very
candy.
Japanese. There's so many
Oh
one
my
of-
gosh, rare candy as well. Okay, rare candy.
Cause Switcher only got 2 copies.
Yeah, exactly. So, and 1 boss order with 1 bell pad.
Looking at this, right, his mindset is probably to jump the opponent, surprise them, you know, use plenty of unexpected damage modifiers. Surprise factor. That's my best guess.
If it's borderline 1 Marnie, 1 Melanie, 1
I mean,
Nessa, 1
This is similar to
Leon,
this is similar to the first Palkia that they won.
The previous one, is it?
It's a bit similar, just that
This one has a bit more throttle.
the guy didn't play capture. And
I feel like Irida is actually very good with
Intelligent.
Intelligent. Yeah. Must stress with
With
Intelligent because like Irida equals anything.
That's where you can find like basically any card.
Yeah.
Yeah, so back to your question earlier, you were mentioning about like why Palkia dominated, why no Arceus.
Yeah.
I think also because Palkia is so stable. Like there's
Synergize well with Irida lah.
and there's no big like anti-target
Yeah,
on it. You
true.
know, like when everyone played Mew, the most first thing was okay, let's stack in Glare Motor, just beat crap out of it. But when people started playing Palkia, you don't see everybody playing Jolteon.
Yeah, okay, because I think one of the reasons why I feel Arceus did not did as well is because back in the Brilliant Stars format, right, Arceus bad matchup was against Mew lah. So that they could afford to tag for it. You know, like basically there were 2 branches of Arceus, right?
Yeah.
Arceus Italian and Arceus Darkness.
Yep.
Or like Arceus Box.
Yeah.
But coming into this new meta in Astral Radiance, there's a variety of decks that pop up. So maybe all the Arceus they didn't, like you see in Taiwan, why the one without tax won? It's maybe because that's the superior way of running Arceus now, because you don't have to tag for your bad matchups, because you just go with the simple idea of okay, I hit, I heal to win games instead of like okay, I have to abuse the fact that my Arceus can charge different kind of attackers to fight different kind of matchups. Because now that the matchup spread is so wide compared to last time, you can narrow it down. Okay, I know that my Mew matchup is bad. Hence, I just play Darkness.
Yeah.
For the rest of the matchups, I use Arceus. You know, like now you have to tag for us, have to tag for Mew, have to tag for Palkia.
Now,
you know, mix the whole deck. Maybe makes the Arceus deck very clunky. Because like instead of just running, or last time I can just run Darkness attackers. Now to run Lightning attackers. Like what the heck?
I got space to put
Yeah,
some
exactly. You only have 60 cards at the end of the day.
I mean, they're also not good lightning attackers.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, yeah,
Galarian was just very efficient because he can charge himself.
exactly.
Yeah, and itself is a good attacker for
Yeah,
every
it's a one
matchup.
pricer. Yeah. So I feel like that's one of the reasons we see so-called the downfall of Arceus. So moving forward, I think most Arceus builds will fall back into the vanilla one, the either Italian or the one that we saw Robin.
Yep.
Yeah, Robin ran with.
Schultz.
Yeah, Robin
Yeah.
Schultz ran with like Chinchino, you know, because like but then again, if everybody is playing Palkia Italian, what's stopping you from playing? What's stopping you from playing Jolteon?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
if you know if everybody's playing Jolteon, what's stopping you from playing Mew?
Yeah,
You
so
know,
now
so it's, we are in a
we-
weird spot, I would say. Yeah.
And speaking of like all these decks, I think we're gonna just like wrap up the podcast with what can we expect for NAIC coming up soon, and subsequently the local meta, right?
We
So
can ask now our local grinder,
oh yes,
Mr. Zenny terrorizer of the locals.
Yeah, this is my prediction for top 16.
Okay,
top
okay.
16,
Top
top
16,
8
yeah,
lah.
okay.
Why top 16?
so many deck.
Yeah.
So
For NAIC,
NAIC. I
Okay,
think
okay.
we'll have at least 2 Reggie in top 16.
Okay, Reggie.
Thomas has left the chat.
Four Palkia, at least 4 Palkia baby.
Okay. So 2 Reggie, 4 Palkia. Okay, 2 more next.
I got this, okay.
No, 18, no, it's in 16.
16. Okay. So 4 Reggie.
Yeah.
Sorry. 4 Palkia.
4
At
Palkia,
least
2
four
Reggie.
10 more next.
4 Mew.
4 Mew. Okay.
Okay.
That's 10 already.
That's already.
So 6 more next.
3 others.
3 others.
Others.
Unknown one lah.
One
Okay.
Urshifu because
No, not Shifu.
Because top Reclam is playing.
top Reclam.
Yeah, maybe one Shifu.
Okay,
one
one
Shifu. You need to talk like that.
Okay.
2 others, 1 Shifu. Then maybe like
3 more decks.
I won't be surprised if Jolteon actually makes a comeback. I won't be
Jolteon
surprised.
VMAX.
Jolteon
I
VMAX,
don't-
right?
yeah.
Or Jolteon just attack with the
Jolteon
But like you
Jolteon.
said, Jolteon VMAX just falls to Reggie. Like there's zero ways that the deck can actually win Reggie. Right? Unless like you run a substitute attacker, which I can't think of off my head, which
I mean-
lightning Pokemon is good.
There is
Zeraora.
No, we were talking about it in the car right here just now.
We were?
The Imoga. I mean, it's
I can't leave the chat again. I leave once again.
no, but I think, cause like okay, like is this just a meta call like? This is really just a meta call like. If you really think that everyone is going to play Palkia, then maybe Jolteon's a good play. If you know. I mean, like, what if your luck this run so hot that you meet all the Palkia deck? Like, as in, that could probably happen also.
I mean, yeah.
Then you see the guy who won.
Why people can't play Tapo Koko VMAX? Got people play what?
Yeah, with Arceus.
Oh,
That's
just
the
Let's also another.
Why you want to play Jolteon so easy to
Oh,
die?
sorry. Then actually, like,
Meta prediction has changed.
maybe okay. So
Clifton, see, this is what happens.
For Palkia, 2 Mew, 2 Arceus.
the podcast page.
For Palkia, 2 Mew, 2 Arceus. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, get it.
So Darkrai?
Maybe top 129.
Top 1, 2, 8.
129,
129.
129 out of the spot.
The guy pop.
Okay. Let's go one round lah. Thomas. Prediction.
You say 16 ah.
Only 16.
I think
Yeah.
Palkia
Top
Mew
eight
lor,
lah.
standard,
Top Mew.
standard. Ice Rider things, you know.
Ice Rider.
Shenanigans. Not like all Reggies ah. please.
Well, I'm praying for a Mew win lah,
Nicholas?
you know, because I'm like very biased towards Mew lah, so I'm praying for like a Mew win, but I think likely it might be a Palkia VSTAR victory for me lah. Palkia VSTAR victory, Mew somewhere in the top 4, top 8. Maybe another meta dominated by Palkia.
Yourself, Clifton?
This one will have to depend on the regionals just before.
Oh,
Oh yes,
yeah.
one more regionals before.
Yeah, so Wisconsin, Milwaukee, right? Because that would definitely shape, especially if something
New, is it?
kick-ass, which is kind of unlikely because everybody's probably holding their best stuff for
Yeah, what could be their cards close to their chest here?
right, quite literally. So, but there are some people who may be doing their final push for an invite and not having to stress about NAIC. Like,
True.
if you can close your invite there and then,
Yeah, why not just
Just
go?
play play the most consistent deck. Yeah.
right? So if they want to do something spicy, maybe they they would do it then.
True.
But barring any further developments, I would say something consistent will do at IC. Look at the sheer number of rounds. Right?
Yeah, the biggest the biggest tournament.
So decks that are predisposed to consistency. So I guess things like Mew, like Palkia, like Arceus, the usual suspects, they would do well. Those tend to go the furthest in IC, right? If you play like a deck that's a bit of a surprise deck, yeah, maybe you would do well in the first few rounds, but later on, as the tournament wears on,
Where everybody finds out what you're playing, right? Especially at the
that kind of deck draws attention to itself.
Yeah.
So definitely something more predisposed to consistency. Yeah.
So, Jeremy?
For me, okay, I feel that Palkia won't win, but Palkia will take up the most number of top 8s. Because to me, every time I see this every time when I see like big tournaments, right?
Yeah.
The what win big tournaments are normally surprises. No surprise there. No pun intended. But then like, because when playing at that level, I feel that like sometimes your deck choice gives you that small edge over your opponent. Yeah. So I'm guessing Palkia Mew will do well, but they will win the tournament. It's the same as like last Brilliant Stars format. Like everybody is saying Mew is their S, but Mew won the least number of tournaments. One, if I remember correctly. Two. Okay, I'm not sure how many, but Mew won the least number of tournaments. Why? Because when a deck is so powerful or when the deck is so like consistent, people it will have its target on its back. Like you won't bring a deck into such a big tournament knowing that you will lose to the number 1 or number 2 popular deck, right? You probably will have a game plan for it or like have some text for it. Example, Arceus will have Dark, or like I don't know, people will play Path for Mew, or like for against Palkia maybe like I play I don't know Jolteon for example.
Yeah, Jolteon package.
Like the Jolteon memory capsule. So I'm guessing something unexpected will win. Maybe something, or it might be an old deck, it might be a new deck, but I feel that if a deck that has like even matchup against those two and throw in the factor of surprise, I'm still praying that
that one will be too far.
For me, I would really love to see like someone make Darkrai work. I have no idea how
it was coming. It was coming.
But I mean, on paper you read the card is like so strong, but I don't know, like maybe somehow somewhere some guy in the world, when you read that card.
Darkrai can beat Reggie.
Or maybe Samurott as well, like these two, like this kind of tier 2 decks, like I feel like it will be a repeat of like EUIC where like Urshifu was forgotten. Then somehow boom, Urshifu all
suddenly come back.
Maybe there's something that we forgot or like maybe there's something that's undiscovered in the meta. But probably someone will have to figure it out during NAIC we shall see.
So no veggies, no veggies, veggies.
It's not Reggie, right?
I mean, he said got veggies, but
then again, like I don't know. You have to see the mindset of players, I guess, because if a Reggie deck can find the answer to a XQ,
that's it.
Yeah, I think it's to be honest, it's really not bad the deck, because it's one prizer. Like anything that is a one prizer in this format, where especially when there are 3 prizes and 2 prizes, you really have an advantage because your opponent have to like if you get the first hit on the 3 prizer, like your opponent will be like what the heck like. Especially if they don't run healing.
Yeah.
I mean, barring that you are not Mew because Mew can always like just leap back, Like if you are playing like I don't know, like Malama VMAX for example, and you don't play any healing option, if the one prizer gets 1 hit on you, wow, painful. Yeah, so you guys, and I think we forgot to mention about BC Miltank also. I feel like the deck, even though like it seems like a troll, but I feel like if it has the same issue as Gigas. If you can find an answer to SQ,
and then you're
good to go . Yeah, this is why I feel that SQ is so valuable.
Gigas has a higher chance of finding an answer.
True That one. Because like, if I know that I'm going if I were playing in NAIC, if I'm running water energy, I will definitely add SQ inside, because like it helps me in 2 matchups, which are from unwinnable become like at least I stand a chance, or like winnable. Like because DC Miltank, I see most of them are trying to they play SQ themselves now to counter the SQ, which makes it quite fun. I don't know, it becomes very weird and funny.
It's not like it's easy for them to like set up the SQ compared to like you're playing a water type deck with Palkia, you can just immediately get it up and running.
And like I also think that the Italian box, remember the one with the 1 prizes, towards the end of the format we see more and more people play the Bird Keeper package.
Yeah,
like
Rounder, I think. Right?
Correct. I mean that kind of deck is only good if you have a very good read on the meta, because you know exactly like what you are stepping into, hence you can design your deck to beat the top decks. But I don't know, maybe that kind of deck will actually bring home the trophy lah.
True.
At the end of the day, maybe something with like lightning, darkness, and all those weird
different kind of attackers.
Different kind of attackers. Like if you got the tools to deal with everything, and if that day you just run a bit hotter than everybody else and you don't meet into Jotion because like Italian you can search everything, maybe that will just bring the win lah.
I think you said something also earlier about an unexpected deck that might take it, right? Maybe we were mentioning earlier about a turbo engine plus a different Pokemon. Maybe that would be the answer. Maybe that would be the one that will take the victory.
True, because to be honest, Palkia is actually not very hard to... I won't say not very hard to play against. It's more of like, you know that it can only hit X amount of damage. And the damage is actually controllable on your side. So if you are playing something that... To me, I don't know what's in the card pool. I mean, I haven't thought about it, but to me, if you are playing against a VMAX deck or like something with high HP that can heal, that I 2-shot you while you are like 3-shotting me, probably that will be, I don't know, paired with the turbo engine might be something.
Maybe, probably. I think like what about decks that probably have fallen on the wayside? All those like previous Malamar VMAX. I mean Malamar VMAX. It did like
thoughts? Malamar VMAX.
If you can find a consistent way to run it, then yes.
Or be like Ryan doing Southern Islands Open and just bring the Jotion package and just clean up house.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a possibility because like you're playing what nine rounds day one, right? For NAIC.
Yeah.
Like if you meet 5 rounds with Italian and you get the Jotion set up every single game.
Oh, yellow.
Yeah.
With or without Jotion, make sure it's consistent. Make sure that it can last you a high number of rounds. Malamar, it's a good pick if you can approach it from the angle, because one thing about IC is that it's a very big event. It's many rounds. NAIC is the biggest.
Yes, the biggest tournament.
It's a lot of rounds. It's very grueling. You play something that has a very checkmate quality to it. It's good because it allows you to rest.
Yeah,
so,
we meant to get it ready all up.
True.
Yeah, so you can just chill,
Fatigue is a thing.
After
round 5, round 6.
Either you know when to scoop quickly or take the game and then don't look back from there. It's very important that you're decisive about it. That's why, personally, for NAIC, I would not favor Bliss Tank too much.
Yeah.
Imagine having to run through that many rounds and then you have to think and think and think. Another thing, you need a really good score to go deep. You don't want to draw. It's not a draw fest, right? So something as decisive as maybe a checkmate style deck like a Malamar VMAX, maybe a good pick for NAIC, if you can make it work. Right. So.
About Dualudon, out?
I feel that Bijou, Asus Bijou might make a comeback rather than Dualudon.
Asus, but how does that deal?
Yeah, Palkia. That's the only place basic water usually.
I mean,
to be honest, the Arceus versus Palkia matchup is not that bad for the Arceus player because number one, Arceus, especially if you're not playing the Intelligent Engine, right? Your bench, you can always limit the amount of Pokemon on your bench. Number one, so you can prevent the one hit. And I also feel that, and of course Bijou is damn good against Mew lah. We all know, as seen from the previous, maybe someone will be able to crack the format, probably I don't know, like a Mew celebrations with Arceus, with like Bijou, Turbo, I don't know. Yeah.
Single strike.
Yeah. You can just if they can make it work, like why not lah? Like I mean, like you go Turbo, then you I don't know, after you scoop up nets, leave your bench
Gotta go fast.
Yeah.
Gotta go fast.
Exactly. Like because decks are so fast these days. Like what the heck, turn 2, I'm doing 200 plus damage, 200 plus damage.
Why do you start first? I don't get boss.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't know lah. Arceus is in a weird spot I would say. The card is obviously very strong, but
it is,
but now that we have so many other V-Star power options, So people might not choose to run Arceus, I guess.
Fantastic. I guess we will just have to wait for NAIC to see who will win and to see what decks we will see in the LGS as well. Yeah. But for now, we are here at Tropical Hour GX podcast again. Thank you to Clifton for joining us for this special episode.
You're welcome.
And see you guys on next episode. Bye guys.